The title of director of the planning department cost Ryan his very life. His black car glided through the gates of the sprawling official residence in Oakwood City. Inside, the air carried the silent scent of power. Ryan's world was meticulously defined, a realm where titles held paramount importance. His wife, Jennifer, the daughter of a businessman, understood the rules of that world better than he did. Amid the colors of this glass palace, the only hue that didn't blend was his mother, Mrs. Elena, a retired school teacher from a small town. Even as her son ascended to a high-ranking position, she remained the same Elena teacher. After his father's death, Ryan knew it was his duty to bring his mother, now alone in her small town, to live with him. But that duty had begun to feel like a weight around his neck. "Ryan, the minister and the chief secretary are coming to tomorrow's party. Tell your mother to stay in her room," Jennifer said during dinner. Ryan recalled the previous week, when his mother shared childhood stories with his friends. Behind their laughter, he sensed a mix of pity and mockery. Jennifer's words stroked his pride. The thought that his mother was becoming a dark spot, dimming the brilliance of his achievements, began to unsettle him. The party that night was a pivotal moment in Ryan's life. It celebrated his appointment as the lead for the new Innovation Hub project. The lawn glowed with lights, and music flowed through the air. Suddenly, a murmur rose from the hall. Mrs. Elena, forgetting Jennifer's strict instructions, had stepped out of her room. "My son was quite naughty as a child. He'd jump into the river and climb trees, and I had to scold him many times," she said with an innocent laugh. The minister's wife glanced at Ryan, her look laced with mockery. He saw Jennifer's face tighten with anger. After the guests left, a storm brewed inside the house. "I can't take this anymore, Ryan. It's either her or me in this house," Jennifer declared, her words an ultimatum. That night, Ryan couldn't sleep. On one side was his mother, on the other, the world of grandeur he had built. His mind decided that the title carried more weight. The following week, he told his mother, "Mom, let's go somewhere, a place with good facilities where you'll have lots of friends." Far from the city, in the lush greenery of Serenity Gardens, a retirement home, he left her. While signing the papers and paying the fees, he avoided looking at her face. As he prepared to leave, Mrs. Elena held his hand and asked, "When will you come back to take me, son?" Her question pierced his heart like an arrow. But with Jennifer's face and the minister's wife's smirk flashing in his mind, he steeled himself. Without looking back, he walked to his car. As it passed through the gates, he saw in the rearview mirror a woman standing beneath the Serenity Gardens sign, as if she had lost the entire world. Back home, Ryan felt as if a great burden had been lifted. His glass palace was now free of unwanted colors. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Ryan's world grew brighter. As the head of the Innovation Hub project, his fame soared. Memories of his mother occasionally surfaced as a faint sting of guilt in the corner of his mind, but he buried them behind the curtain of busyness. His rival Sam often visited him. "Ryan, be careful. This project is full of traps," he warned. Ryan brushed it off. Meanwhile, in the world of Serenity Gardens, Mrs. Elena struggled to adapt to her solitude. She never told anyone she had been abandoned. "My son is very busy," she said with a smile to everyone. She made new friends there, Major Harrison, Miss Patricia, Richard Shen. She read books to them. But in the silence of the night, she was alone. In the pages of an old diary, she poured out her pain. Allegations of corruption linked to the Innovation Hub project began appearing in the newspapers. Suspicion pointed toward Ryan, the project's leader. One morning, the FBI took over the case, led by Agent Scott, a stern officer. The mere mention of Scott's name sent a chill of fear through Ryan's heart. The FBI arrived in Oakwood City. Ryan's world began to crumble. As part of the investigation, Scott decided to look into Ryan's background. Records showed his mother lived in their hometown, but she hadn't been there for months. Further investigation revealed Ryan was sending money to Serenity Gardens. Never one to overlook a lead, Scott headed there the next day. As he entered Serenity Gardens, Scott saw a woman reading a book to others on a garden bench. Her voice felt familiar, like something he'd heard long ago. He approached her. Recognizing the face marked by time's wrinkles, he said, "Mrs. Elena?" His voice trembled. She looked at him closely, then her eyes widened. "Scott, my boy, what are you doing here?" His eyes filled with tears. This was the teacher who had helped him through a childhood of poverty and taught him. Why was she here? "Ryan, he's very busy, son. I didn't want to be a burden," she said, her voice faltering. In that moment, Scott read everything in her eyes, the pain of abandonment. The realization that the corrupt official he was investigating was this mother's son burned him. That night, Scott couldn't sleep. Before him were two Ryans, the corrupt official and the son who broke his mother's heart. He knew the law had no punishment for the second crime, but he vowed to deliver justice himself. In the cold FBI office, Ryan sweated as he sat before Scott. "Mr. Ryan, where is your mother?" Scott asked unexpectedly. Ryan froze. "She's in the hometown," he lied. Scott slid a photo across the table, a picture of Mrs. Elena at Serenity Gardens. Ryan's body went limp. "Mr. Ryan, I met your mother yesterday. She was my teacher. For this title and grandeur, you abandoned her." Scott stood up. "The law will decide your corruption case. But you've committed a greater crime. You abandoned the mother who sacrificed her life to put you in that chair. This is also God's punishment for her tears. No law can restore a mother's lost love." Each word struck Ryan like a whip. His fortress of pride collapsed. From the pinnacle of power he plummeted to the abyss. In the silence of that room, he broke down and cried like a child for the first time. That evening Ryan was arrested. As the news flashed across television screens, Mrs. Elena sat in her room at Serenity Gardens, writing in her diary, "Something heavy weighs on my heart today. May my son be safe, dear God." Ryan's arrest spread like wildfire. The next morning, every newspaper's front page carried a photo of him, head bowed, hands cuffed. Watching the news in Serenity Gardens Common Hall, Mrs. Elena was stunned. "My son! It must be someone else." She struggled to believe. But the face on the screen erased all doubt. Her heart shattered, and even the walls of Serenity Gardens seemed to tremble with her pain. Meanwhile, in Oakwood City, Jennifer was speaking with her lawyer. "I want a divorce as soon as possible. I can't live with this disgrace." That evening, she held a press conference. "I knew nothing about Ryan's business dealings. I was completely deceived," she told the cameras. When he lost his title, Ryan realized how alone he was. Scott's words echoed in his ears. His mother's face burned in his mind. In the solitude of jail, Ryan reflected on his life. The security of power and wealth was so temporary. True wealth lay in relationships, the love of the mother he had scorned. A young lawyer, David, took his case. "Sir, you were betrayed by Sam," he said. For the first time, in his broken world, Ryan saw someone extending a hand toward him. After a month in jail, Ryan was granted bail. No one was there to receive him outside. The gates of the official residence were locked. His wife was gone. With nowhere to go, only one face came to mind, his mother. He took an ordinary bus to Serenity Gardens. By evening he arrived. His mother sat on the same garden bench. He walked toward her slowly. Hearing his footsteps, Mrs. Elena turned. She saw a frail, bearded man with sunken eyes, a shadow of the son she had borne. Words failed him. He fell at her feet, pressing his face to them, sobbing like a child. Mrs. Elena didn't ask a single question. She bent down, lifted him by his shoulders and held him close. When the world had rejected him, his mother embraced him. In her heart, he found a peace no title could offer. He became a part of Serenity Gardens, sweeping floors, chopping vegetables, and helping those who struggled to walk. His pride melted away in service. One night, while cleaning his mother's room, he found an old diary under her bed. It was hers. Each page pulsed with a mother's heart. The final page read, "My son came back to me. He may have done wrong, but he's my child. I want my Ryan to be as he was." Clutching the diary to his chest, he wept until dawn. The trial days arrived. Under Scott's leadership, the FBI presented strong evidence. As Sam's and other rivals' conspiracies unraveled, the court saw Ryan as a victim too. On the day of the verdict, the judge said, "You failed in power. Colluding in corruption is a grave crime. Thus, the court suspends you from service for 5 years." He escaped prison, but the crown of director of the planning department was gone. Leaving the court, he walked back to Serenity Gardens. There, at the gate, Mrs. Elena waited for him, with Scott by her side. Ryan stood before her. "Mom, please forgive me." "It's okay, son," she said, gripping his hand tightly. 2 years later, in a small town in the Northwest, Ryan taught math to children in his mother's old house. The arrogance of power was gone from his face, replaced by a calm smile. His suspension had ended, but he declined to return to service. He had found his true world. After class, he stepped onto the porch where Mrs. Elena sat in a rocking chair, smiling at him. Her eyes shone with pride and joy. A jeep approached. It was Scott, now the district's superintendent of police. "How's it going, Teacher Ryan?" he asked, stepping out. The three sat on the porch, talking. The sun was setting. In its light, sitting between his mother and his old student, Ryan thought, the greatest title in life isn't director of the planning department. It's the ability to love and be loved. His heart was at peace. This was his world.